This week, Adam Schefter quoted John Lynch saying that Jimmy is having the best camp ever. Now, I know you've talked about this on other broadcasts, and I know that you feel he's not having the best camp ever. He's having a typical Jimmy camp where he does some good things. He's very limited, doesn't throw down the field, doesn't read,
turns the ball over,
reads quickly enough, all of that. So he's having, a rather mediocre to not so mediocre camp.
Standard Jimmy.
Why would Lynch say that?
He has to. He's trying to trade Jimmy Garoppolo, and all the press is about Trey Lance. And I think most people assume when you're praising one guy, you're saying the other guy isn't as good. And Lynch is trying to do the best he can. I mean, if you and I were running the 49ers and we were privately having a meeting, we would say we have to say the nicest things possible about Jimmy Garoppolo and maybe even lie to try to, because they think probably they could get like a 3rd round pick for him right now. They want to get a 1st or a 2nd. They have to create this perception. And the thing that's funny is, okay, so John Lynch did the right thing. Adam, why would you just run with that? You know that's propaganda. Come to practice. Ask me. I'll tell you. Or ask anyone.
Yeah. Yes. From my point of view, Adam is so good at what he does.
Yeah.
He's so bright. Lynch tells you that. Make a phone call.
Yeah.
This is what John told me off the record. Grant, what do you think? I can't go down there. I have all these other teams to cover. I'm sorry. Look,
I could have called Nick Wagner. They work for the same employer. I'm sure they have each other's number. I'm sure they could text him. Nick's there with me. He would have told him, no, Adam, no.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't want to seem like we're knocking at him. He's terrific.
Yeah.
I only have admiration for him. I wish he hadn't done that. Because
Go ahead.
Let me finish, sweetie.
Go ahead.
Sweetie. Let me finish. I tried before I retired, never to do propaganda. Right. And again, I'm going to say this. If you're trying this at home or if you're a novice journalist, it's not what they want you to hear and see. It's what you really hear and see. I tried never to go with their narrative, the team's storyline, because a lot of the times it was propaganda. Lowell, what did you really see? And do you care that you're going to contradict them? Not only don't I care, I love it.
Right. Like John Lynch's job is to do what's best for the organization. And right now that's, lie about Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, fib a little bit. It's what I would do too. He has to do that. But our job is to understand what a pump and dump when we see one.
I love pump and dump.
This is a pump and dump. I don't know how much pumping they've actually accomplished. I don't know. It seems like everyone's talking about Trey Lance and everyone realizes that Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't know. Here's the thing. I got some stats. He has 3 touchdown passes and 3 interceptions in 7 days of camp. That's Jimmy. But he'll have some throws throughout the day. You'd be like, well, that was really nice. That was really good. You can appreciate him. But saying he's had the best camp ever. No, he's still the same. Some people like him.
I got one more quarterback question, unless there's some I forgot about. I got one more.
Sure.
You're down there. You're very impressed with Trey Lance, and a lot of people are ooh-ahhing about him.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean you're convinced he's going to be a big hit this season in the NFL?
I think he's going to be really good this year. I don't know that he's going to have I don't know what he's going to be like when he's 30, but this is what I see from him. I think he's going to have a lot of the early success that Lamar Jackson's had. I think he's going to run for like 800 yards this year. Whoa. I think he's going to score like 10 rushing touchdowns. And then on top of that, he is a much better thrower than I expected. He has good throwing mechanics, strong arm, careful with the ball. I think he's going to have really good numbers because he's so gifted and there's a really good team around him. He'll have Kittle, Ayuk, Debo, this offensive, Trent Williams, Mostert. I think he's going to have a really good year. The question is, will he get hurt playing the way he plays? If he's going to run for 800 yards, will he get hurt? And can he do it for 2-3 years? And will he eventually evolve into a quarterback who's more like Russell Wilson? I think he can, but we'll see. But early on, I think their offense is going to be a lot like Baltimore's, and they're going to kind of out Baltimore. And I know you're not wild about that style of offense, but it's what they got.
Okay. You say the big question is, will he get hurt? Of course, it's a big question.
Yes.
Iggy, the big question is, will he be able to translate what he's doing in training camp into real games? And we certainly do not know the answer yet. We don't know the answer. Now, you're down there and you are really impressed, and you're thinking, I think he will, right?
Yeah.
One, I'm not down there. Two, I've been through this a lot of times. I want to see it.
Of course. I guess the reason I'm so enthusiastic is because it's every day that I see it. It's not like 2 of the 7 days. It's every day. That's very impressive. I mean, Jimmy isn't that consistent. So I don't know if he's going to be, the rookie of the year, but I think he'll be one of the better players on the 49ers this year. I do. I mean, because that's what he is every day down there in camp.
Do you think he's physically gifted at the level of Mahomes?
Yes, in certain ways, more physically gifted than Mahomes. I mean, Mahomes can't run like him, and his arm strength is right there with Mahomes. He has the same level of arm strength as Mahomes. Now, Mahomes in college played in the Big 12 and had games where he would throw 50, 60 times. So he was had a lot of passing experience. This guy, not as much. He's going to run more than Mahomes ever did, and he'll develop into a passer. But so much of passing is understanding situations. Like clock time, score, down and distance. He's never led a 2-minute drill in his life, Trey Lance. So I think he's going to have to develop into the kind of guy who can win games throwing 45 passes. But right now, what he's going to do is throw maybe 20 times a game and run maybe 8 or 9. That should be a pretty good combination when you add in the rest of the Niners running game and who he's throwing to.
When he's throwing passes in practice, do you find you can't take your eyes off him?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I keep comparing him to, watching Kaepernick. And Kaepernick was a lot of fun to watch too. Kaepernick was a supreme athlete. But Kaepernick never took pride in his mechanics. He would even say, like, I'm not big on mechanics. This kid is big on mechanics. He works on them very hard. And of these mobile quarterbacks, he has one of the better throwing motions I've seen. I would compare it to Russell Wilson. He's got that over the top, not elongated throwing motion. It's really impressive, and I wasn't expecting it.
And Kaepernick had an elongated motion.
Yeah, he bring it all the way back. He looked
like a pitcher. You got to get it out fast.
You got to get it out fast. And Trey Lance doesn't get it out as fast as Jimmy Garoppolo, but Garoppolo gets it out so fast, and there's really very little on the throw because he's just flicking it. Trey Lance gets it out fast, but he gets his whole body behind it, and you can see him grunt. Every time he throws a 15-yard pass over the middle, it's shocking how hard he throws the ball. He has the Colin Kaepernick arm strength, with a much more efficient, repeatable release.
Love it.
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah. Okay. And from what they say, he's obsessed with learning defenses, learning the playbook, like the position, not just being a great athlete, which is another thing that Colin Kaepernick didn't have. I mean, everything I've heard about him so far, he seems very mature, poised. I haven't seen anything yet where it's like, well, this one thing right here could really undermine him. I think he could be Mahomes special. Just maybe he'll have to develop into that because he didn't throw that much in college. That's the one thing I remember about him.
He sounds like a coach's dream.
I think he's a coach's dream. And they're trying not to praise him too much, but they all look so happy right now when they go to the podium because this guy could potentially make all their careers.
Got it.
I mean, Kyle Shanahan was going great coaching Jimmy Garoppolo. No offense to Jimmy, but Bill Walsh was always talking about the limit of his offense. Well, we know the limit that Jimmy has, and Kyle's worked very hard to get right up to that. Now it's like, boom, forget that. You can do whatever you want. Whatever you want. It's exciting.
Have we asked all our quarterback questions?
Yes, we have some questions from the viewers. Let's take them. Jerry says, do you think they won't trade Jimmy even if Lance starts just in case he gets hurt like RG3? Then it's season over if Jimmy is gone. Great show, guys. That's a good point. Remember, he's going to run Trey Lance a ton. He did that with RG3. RG3 eventually got hurt. Now, RG3 was smaller than Trey Lance. Do you think they keep Jimmy Garoppolo just in case?
Here's what I think.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not talking to anybody anymore.
Right.
I think if they designate Lance as the starter, they have to trade Jimmy. I think it would there would be tension in the locker room, a Jimmy group and a Trey group. And Jimmy would, you say Rosen looks defeated?
Yeah.
Jimmy would be crushed.
Yeah.
He would be crushed. And if the other guy got hurt and they had to bring Jimmy back, I think the team already would have lost him. They would have lost him. So yeah. I feel they have to trade him if he's not the starter.
I got something else to say. I think, when they do eventually make Trey Lance the starting quarterback, they might want to get a backup quarterback who has something in common with Lance in terms of the skill set. I mean, Lance is going to be running a lot. Wouldn't you want a backup who could do some of that stuff too, as opposed to Nate Sudfeld, who's not that kind of quarterback? I'm just saying they might need some new backup quarterbacks next year too.
Interesting.
Brandon says, I think we should use the obscurity around Lance as a competitive advantage. Introduce a new package for Lance each week that there's no film. Yeah, I think they're definitely going to do that. There's going to be a lot of time. Yeah.
Great idea.